Ooh, where do I start with this one? It's good. So, Triple Frontier is the latest Netflix original movie, and it's actually directed by the same guy who did All Is Lost with Robert Redford and A Most Violent Year with Oscar Isaac and Jessica Chastain. Both really good movies, and I gotta say, Triple Frontier is his best work yet, in my opinion. This movie was also produced by Kathryn Bigelow, who's famous most recently for Zero Dark 30 and The Hurt Locker, and way back, Point Break. She directed all of those movies, so she's got a good pedigree. She's sort of behind the scenes here, and this is a good tactical heist movie starring the likes of Ben Affleck, Oscar Isaac, Charlie Hunnam, and some familiar faces from the Netflix original series Narcos, which is significant because I think this movie's gonna appeal to fans of the show Narcos. Now, what I will say about this movie is it is very good looking. It's shot very, very well, and in a way where the cinematography is not overly dramatic, which is brilliant. The director did a good job of letting the drama play out on screen without overemphasizing it with the way the movie is shot. I thought that was great, yet it still is a very beautiful movie. A lot of it takes place in the jungle, and it just looks really, really incredible. The music in this was done by Disasterpeace, and Disasterpeace is most famous for his work on the score for It Follows, which is a very distinct electronic, synthesized type of a soundtrack. I would have never guessed that he did the music for this movie. It's very subtle. Just like the cinematography, it takes a back seat to what is actually happening on film, which again, works very, very well for this movie. Not only is the music by Disasterpeace good and smart and subtle, like I said, but the movie actually has a really good soundtrack. There's a lot of classic rock in this one that I wasn't expecting. There's a Metallica track that the movie almost opens up with. There's Fleetwood Mac. It's one of the more impressive soundtracks, if not the best soundtrack on a Netflix original so far. While watching it, because it is so tactical, I was reminded of movies like Sicario. Again, I feel like fans of Sicario are really going to like this one. Maybe it's not quite as good as the first Sicario, but I would say that this is probably better than the second. And really what you get with this is a bunch of ex-military guys that are essentially mercenaries or soldiers of fortune. They're going after a lot of money from held up by a drug lord out in the jungle in the middle of South America. And you get this heist element. I mean, ultimately, the entire movie is a heist movie with other themes and things going on. And what I'll say about the beginning of the movie is it does kick off with a raid, so you get a little bit of action in the beginning, but the first almost 30 to 40 minutes is a little bit slow. And I don't mean slow as in you're sort of waiting to see what happens. The cast did a great job of keeping me interested throughout. And even though the beginning is fairly slow paced, like I said, you are spending a lot of time with the characters and they're establishing elements about them. It's typical kind of paces for a movie like this, but it really pays off during the heist more so than I would have expected. Once the heist begins, I was on the edge of my seat. The tension for me was super tight, yet the tension never really felt forced. I didn't feel like it was heightened. Again, it wasn't heightened by the music, it wasn't heightened by cinematography, it wasn't heightened by showing you where the bad guys are. You're just with these guys pulling off this heist, and the clock is ticking, and you get more and more nervous and anxious for them as things go on. And in the words of Ron Burgundy,
boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Once this one gets going, it really cracks off in a big way. I was surprised at how much I was enjoying this movie while watching it. And over and over and over again, the shit literally hit the fan in ways I was not expecting. Yet again, it felt fairly grounded. The performances from everyone felt really grounded, and what was happening for the most part, even though it's sort of this crazy wild story, it never got fully out of hand for me. It felt like something that could really happen. It felt like it was really happening for a lot of the movie. To me, this is one of, if not the best Netflix original I've seen. Now, keep in mind, this is fresh for me. I'm just coming off watching it, but I feel like I enjoyed it more than any other, and I've watched almost all of them. Outlaw King was one of my favorites from last year. I'm pretty sure I enjoyed this one more. There were a handful of others that I've reviewed on this channel that I really, really liked, and this one was just really, really well rounded. And so, what I'll say for purposes of the review is if you were interested in this movie, there's a very, very good chance you're going to enjoy it, possibly even love it. If you were maybe apprehensive and not quite sure, I do recommend it. I recommend giving it a shot. I recommend it so much that even if you had no interest, this one may still be worth the time. I think had I paid $10 to go see this in a theater, I would not have left disappointed. Would it be the best thing I've seen all year? Probably not, but I think it would have stood out to me and I would have wanted to watch it again. I definitely will be watching this one again. I look forward to watching it again, actually. I liked it that much. I hope Netflix continues to improve and get better and better with their Netflix originals. If you've seen it, let me know in the comments below. If you weren't interested yet I've convinced you to watch it, you can let me know that as well. But I will keep making reviews on Netflix original movies just like this one, as long as you keep watching them. Thanks for checking this one out, and you will see me on the next one. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do so a number of ways. You can become a Patreon supporter like one of these fine people. There's a link to a Teespring store in the description below, as well as an Amazon link where you can find a bunch of great Blu-ray deals. Any way you'd like to support me, likes, comments, shares, always appreciated. There are 2 more Netflix originals this month, The Highwaymen and The Dirt, which is a movie based on Motley Crue. I plan on doing similar reviews for both of those, so stay tuned to the channel and click that subscribe button.